Hi, y'all. Well, let me make sure my microphone is on because I fucking did it again a couple days ago. I forgot to turn on my microphone. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Robuilt. Welcome back to the fourth and final video in my Airbnb series. I hope you've learned something. So far, we've covered what is Airbnb and the entire process of Airbnb from start to finish. And today, I want to give you a little bit more of a real take on being an Airbnb host in terms of what I've learned and things that I wish that I would have learned or things that I wish I would have known going into this. It seems like a lot of y'all really enjoy my more confessional, real talks, like the one that I made about starting a YouTube channel and the one where I talked about how making more money is not correlated to more happiness. And so I wanted to try to give you my honest take here as a host. And you know, I think it's gonna be a good one because I'm gonna be speaking from the heart today. And also, I'm so excited. I'm like, it's here. Host Camp is officially open for enrollment. We did it! Don't look at my legs. It's going to be open from now through September 6th at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So if you're interested, there's a link down in the description where you can learn a little bit more about the program. But live pro tip, if you waited until the very end of the video, I'll give you some more of the juicy details. Okay, so things that I wish that I'd known, things that I've learned the hard way, all that kind of stuff. Let's get into it. Before we do, if this inspires you to host, as always, consider signing up with my link down below. When you do, you'll get $75 when you host your first day. So with that, number one, something that I wish that I knew before I actually started Airbnb was that I could host and have a full-time job at the same time. That was something that I didn't really understand at the very beginning, and so it kind of kept me from starting my Airbnb journey just because I was like, well, how could I possibly work a full-time job and run like a short-term rental business? And so I got really wrapped up in analysis paralysis. I had so many questions on how to make it work, and I didn't understand that I could automate so many aspects of my business. I didn't understand that I could automate messaging and pricing and cleaning and all that kind of stuff. So had I known that a little earlier, had someone like me started a YouTube channel just a little earlier, then I think I would have jumped into the game a little sooner. Ultimately, I'm really glad that I jumped in when I did, but I do want you to know, you can work a full-time job, you can work a part-time job, you can work 2 full-time jobs. I mean, I feel like I've been working 3 full-time jobs for the last 4 years. Don't necessarily recommend that, but with all that said, I do want to be a little honest here, and I want to say that it's not necessarily easy. Just know that you're going to have some sacrifices that you have to make. Whenever you want to go out to lunch with all of your friends at work or dinner or happy hour, you're going to have to be on the phone with contractors and cleaners and handymen, like at the very beginning of your business before you automate everything to, the nth degree. You're going to make some sacrifices. You're going to have some uncomfortable conversations with your peers and your family and your friends. You're going to be in the middle of dinner and you're going to have to drop everything to help a guest. I want to be real about that, okay? 100% possible, but it's not always going to be rainbows and butterflies. You're going to miss things here and there, but it's worth it. Number 2, as I switch my camera for dynamics. Oh, dang it, I gotta go move my light. I'll be right back. Number 2 thing here that I wish I had known, I wish I could tell younger Rob this. Airbnb or VRBO or whatever platform you use will always come through. There were so many times when I was starting out my short-term rental business where, man, I just was so scared that I wasn't gonna book. And it really, the idea that I could start this business and that I could not book and lose money every month, that was really scary for me before I started actually getting into Airbnb because I was like in $100,000 of student loan debt and credit card debt, 80 and 20.
It's stupid on steroids.
Not relevant. You don't care about that. You guys already know that. I had a lot of bills and expenses just personally, and so for me to take a risk and start this business, which, thankfully my wife supported me through that, I was like, what if I didn't book? But sometimes you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in the experience that you've created and the house and the listing that you've put together. You just have to have faith that if you, bought... I just noticed this is in the screen. Dang it. You can leave that in. You can leave that in too. Feel free to leave this in. Let's get back to it. You just have to trust that if you bought right, like if you got a good price, or if you leased correctly in a rental arbitrage deal, and you've researched your market, and you're in a good location, and you took great professional photos, and you put a lot of care and love and attention into your space, that it's gonna be okay. Like you're probably gonna book, and you will probably be profitable. Now again, not guaranteeing that. So the thing about Airbnb is that it ebbs and flows. Sometimes you have high seasons, and sometimes you have low seasons, but you have to understand that seasonality it literally means that sometimes if you're super jam-packed busy, and then at other times it might just be total crickets. Like the current status of my like button. Oh wait, go ahead, just, give it a little boop. I cannot tell you how many times I stressed out because I had 1 to 2 weeks open on my calendar and I was like, my pants.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
Because those 2 weeks were the difference between me being profitable or not. And then it could literally be like 1 day before my open 2 weeks come up, and then boom, like literally a 2-week booking or like 4 bookings come on the same day, and then I end up being 100% occupied. So I just want you to know that it does often work out. You just need a little bit of patience. Don't let the idea that you're not gonna book or this and that, that's just another form of analysis paralysis. That's just another form of you giving excuses to not start a business. All right, it's real talk. That's real talk from Dad, okay? All right, just hear me out on this next one. I don't know, are we numbering these? Number 3, something. People are gonna hate you, all right? Here's one thing that you have to understand getting into real estate, getting into the idea of real estate investing, Airbnb, like because I own an Airbnb, in the eyes of my NIMBY neighbors, not in my backyard types, the Karens, the Karinas, or whatever you want to call them, no offense to any, hey, if your name is Karen and you watch this channel, I want to say I appreciate you, and I just, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about your counterparts. Wow. I hate when I break for a joke and I forget what I was saying. Apparently, just because I own an Airbnb, I've simultaneously created a mosh pit that just runs 24/7 in the neighborhood, and there's pure destruction, and the vultures are coming from every direction, and the insane clown posse parties there every single day.
I'm gonna live forever!
And I've increased prices in my neighborhood, and I've also decreased prices in my neighborhood. Sometimes I wish those neighbors would communicate so they can just form their agenda together. And also because you own a house and you've made, income from it to support your family, you've single-handedly created the housing crisis. And it's your job to solve it, like 100% of it. Like you need to fund it and you need to eradicate it immediately because you own a house. Look, I express this to you because this is something that I hear every single day, and it's something that you're gonna read every single day. And if you're getting into Airbnb and you're researching and you read articles and you start reading the comment section of those articles or Facebook posts, which is always just a great idea, just like a great way to make yourself feel better, you're gonna get really butthurt at what the people on the opposite side of you feel about you and what you're doing. You have to constantly remind yourself, why am I doing this? And remember, your mission, in a sense, not to get too corporate handbook. Am I a good person? Yeah, I feel like I am, and I'm doing all of this with good intentions. And if you can remind yourself of those things, then you just cannot worry about what the haters have to say. On the flip side of this, people are gonna love you. Not you specifically, they're gonna love your place, and you are gonna be creating lifelong memories for other people, families, friends, and that means something. So I know the people hating you thing is a little bit of a bummer point. It's true, but I really want to stress how much more the love side of this, and how much people loved your place and how much you impacted them through the experience that you put together for them. That really outweighs any of the bad stuff. To me, I'm already a little bit of a crybaby. It would change my life. It would change, damn it. A little bit of a crybaby, but sometimes I read reviews and I'm just they must have spent 30 minutes writing that, and they're just so sweet. But the fact that people will spend so much time crafting a review to you to just express how thankful they were for the opportunity to stay at your place, that's why we do this. That is why we do that. And then if you're ever having a bad day, or if you're ever having just a tough time, just go back to your reviews and just read them, and you're gonna remember why you do this and that you're making other people happy. I think making other people happy is such a great way to make yourself happy. It can change your life in a really small way. And I'll just end this really fast by reading a couple of reviews from my listings. But let's see, I'll read you kind of a review that I got recently that I was before we do, okay, let's just give me and just let's make this one pop a little bit. Some places just speak to your soul. Nestled in a dense cropping of woods on nearly 18 acres of rolling South Wisconsin farmland, this gem of a property was everything we hoped for and way more. My wife and I love mid-century modern homes. When we saw this 1968 gem available to rent, we were thrilled. Reading this guy spent so much time writing that, and I have never been more proud of an experience that I created, and that made my day. And as someone who's got thousands of reviews at this point, honestly, I get reviews like that all the time, and every single time, I'm just wow, I've created something special. Moving on here. People gonna be dumb. You're gonna guess that don't read. They can read, they just choose not to read the very thorough instructions that you've left them. And you're gonna get calls in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day or just the most inconvenient times ever, asking for things that are just gonna make your blood boil because you're gonna be did you try this? And they're gonna be like, no, what do you mean? Here's a good one. This guy just asked, do we need any keys or code to enter our room? Well, if you literally read like the message that I sent you like before this that says to refer to your app for checking in. Like, it literally, right here, it says check-in details. Like, right before this, they could literally click on that. If they click that button, they will get literally all the information that... Okay, anyway, calm down, Rob, calm down. You're a wholesome channel, calm down. You're gonna get people that ask you for obvious questions, and you just have to have patience, and you just have to work with people and understand that not everyone is technologically savvy, and not everyone understands how to work the Airbnb app. Be patient with people, and it will pay dividends. Which brings me to point number, I don't know, okay, maybe you can just put it right there. You hold your ground. It is okay to hold your ground as a host. As much as I'm all for being super hospitable and being very nice, sometimes you really gotta just hold your ground and stick to your guns, because there are so many people that would appreciate that about you, that you're a nice person. And then there are also so many people that will take advantage of that. We give so much of our own happiness and mental health to our guests in an effort to make them happy. And that is a part of the job. That is what we signed up to do. But sometimes it's okay to say, off. It's okay to just hold your ground and say no sometimes. Like, for example, on my daughter's first birthday not too long ago, we had guests that were staying at our chalet here. And the bittersweet aspect of the chalet is that I'm like 40 minutes away, meaning I can get there in an absolute emergency if I need to. And also I can get there if I need to, right? So like it's a good and a bad thing. And we had these guests there and they said that the hot tub wasn't working. And it's because I guess the hot tub filter just was like dirty. You know, they were like really bummed because they booked the place wanting a hot tub and like no one could go and get them a filter. And you know, I agreed to go and swap it out. And so I had to drive to like the store, which was like an hour away out here, and get like a filter and then drive 40 minutes that way, change the filter, and then like drive 40 minutes back. And so I was gone for 3 hours and I missed 3 hours of my daughter's first birthday. And if I could go back and just replay this moment, I would say, I'm sorry. I can't do that for you today. What I think will get you out of a lot of different bad situations when you're hosting on Airbnb and like angry guests and all that kind of stuff, and like, you know, entitled guests, Karens, Garinas, like all them types, is just being a nice person. I think that being a nice person will get you through life, like in general, but like in Airbnb, like you just have to apologize profusely and like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I hate myself and I'll never let this happen again. And most of the time they're like, oh my God, dude, no worries. No need to cry. I don't like seeing an adult man cry. You just have to apologize profusely. But on top of that, providing a solution or proving to your guests that you're working on a solution or that you're going out of your way to provide a solution. Now in that instance, what I said was, I'll be right there. I'm gonna do this. Give me 3 hours. That was my solution. I think a perfectly fine solution would have been to say, hey, I am so sorry about that. I know that you booked for the jacuzzi. Tell you what, I'm gonna buy you and your group dinner tonight. Go out, have a nice meal, send me a receipt, and I will refund you that on your stay. Now, of course, you could just refund the night. I really try my hardest not to compensate from a monetary standpoint, like, you know, refunding a night if I don't have to. What I really prefer is buying someone dinner, buying someone wine. I've done that so many times where I just say, hey, I'm so sorry, let me buy you dinner. And even though that dinner is technically cheaper than the night's stay, a lot of people are like, oh my God, that's so nice. That could be a solution. And a lot of times it's like, hey, let me buy you dinner and here's what I'm working on to get this off for you. It's Saturday. I could go do this myself, but it's my daughter's birthday. Here's what I can do. I know John over at this place. I called him. He said he can be out there first thing tomorrow. So if you're cool with it, we'll get him on the books for tomorrow and we'll get this thing solved. And most people are like, okay, hey, I really appreciate that you care so much about this. Like, I think that is one of the responses I get often from people. They're like, okay, hey, wow. So stick to your guns and just say no. Put your foot down if it's just like not reasonable for you to like fix it in that moment. And it's okay. It might cost you some money, but it's gonna save you like mental health and happiness. And it's like important to know that like at the very beginning. I wish I had known this when I started. Be nice, present a solution. If you can do these 3 things, you're gonna be just fine. Tip number something, $5 will cost you $500. If you're always trying to pinch pennies, really save a buck here or there by not paying your crew or your team enough, it's gonna end up costing you a lot more money than that. So for example, if you interview a team of cleaners and you go with the cheapest one, they're probably not going to do the best job for you. And so when a guest comes in and they see that the place is a little dusty here, there's crumbs on the counter, whatever, they're going to be real mad, especially during a pandemic. Like that was a big deal. You needed a perfectly sparkling clean listing or else you're going to get railed in the reviews. And so if you really just invest in paying people what they're asking of you, like like I think that you're gonna find that they're gonna be a lot happier. So this applies to cleaning, where if a place isn't clean, you might have to refund a guest their cleaning fee or their stay or a couple days or whatever. But it also applies to when an emergency is happening and you have to call a handyman, for example, which you should already have them on your Airbnb Avengers, as I always say. But if you're calling a contractor or a roofer or a plumber, electrician, whoever, if you're just calling around and you're just trying to get the cheapest price, like let's just say that you have a small plumbing issue, like a leak under your sink, and you're just calling constantly and just calling every plumber saying, how much are you? 100. How much are you? 115? How much are you? 150? And you're just trying to save $5. It's gonna cost you more because A, your guest is waiting for you to address an issue. And so the longer you don't address that issue, the more antsy and annoyed and angry they're gonna get. And that's not gonna be fun because that could lead to refunding them, and that could cost you a lot more than that $5 that you were trying to save. On top of that, if it's a big enough issue, you need to get it like squared away as soon as possible, because if you call plumber 1 and plumber 2 and plumber 1 can get here today and plumber 2 is cheaper but they can get here in 2 days, well, now that leak is, staying put under your sink for a couple of days, and it's actually causing more damage, and it's going to cost you a lot more to repair it because you didn't get it solved in the problem. So anytime you try to address something and it comes down to a monetary thing of saving like anywhere from $100 to $200, you should just spend the money on who is willing to address that for you as soon as possible. Unnumbered tip number something, there's a solution for everything. Emergencies are gonna happen, and you just need to breathe and understand that things are gonna be okay. I can't tell you how many things have come up for me over the past, from it raining and there being a giant leak in my roof, to the toilets not working. Like when you flush the toilet, it would make like a sound and it like wouldn't actually flush, and I was like, oh my god, the plumbing is broken in my house. To recently, a swarm of bees invading my house, like thousands and thousands of bees. I almost made a video about this, but I was like, maybe I should though. Anyway, from that to my A-frame being set on fire, to me having to carry out a passed out guest from the back of their Uber, up a flight of stairs into my tiny house, there's always something that can be done, and everything is fixable and everything is gonna be okay. You just have to ask yourself, not how am I gonna fix this, who is gonna fix this, okay? Bees invading my house, oh my god, like what am I gonna do? There's like thousands of honeybees and my guests can't, they're locked in the house. All right, calm down, I'm gonna call my pest control person. Hey, actually, Rob, I don't do bees, but my friend Ryan does. Fantastic. Hey Ryan, I got thousands of bees. Yeah, I'll be right there. Boom, taken care of. Oh, my A-frame burned down. What do I do? Call my contractor. Hey, I'll be out there. I'll send my guys to go and fix it. All right, so if you have the right team, there's always a solution. Things are gonna seem like emergencies. They are in some degree, but I just want you to remember that these instances, for the most part, are laughable events in retrospect. They're gonna ruin your day, but years later, you're gonna be like, man, that was funny, and I'm a much better host from it. So embrace the bad times. Other thing that I wish I could just tell younger Rob is like, just get started, man. Like, get started, figure out how to get in the game. You don't necessarily need money to get in this game. You can partner up with somebody, you can co-host for somebody, you can work for free for somebody to get a piece of that deal, but just figure out how to get started. And I got started at 27, and I always felt like, at that time I was too late, but it's just so not true. It's never too late. And it's so discouraging to see other people with built up portfolios that are making millions of dollars, and you see that and you're like, oh man, it's gonna take me so long to get there, I might as well not start. That's also another form of analysis paralysis. It's an excuse not to get started. You just have to figure out how to get into your first deal. That's the most common advice in real estate ever, because it's true. It's like, figure out how to get started. Everything is gonna start coming a lot easier to you as you actually are in a deal and experiencing it. And you're gonna start to learn. Real estate in general, but Airbnb, it starts off slow. All of a sudden, it picks up. It snowballs. Like for me, I've been doing this for 4 years, and I've got 14 properties now. And right now, after my expenses and partnership splits and everything like that, I'm at the $25,000 monthly mark for myself personally. And it wasn't really until recently that happened for me, but it's been a little bit of a slow roll until all of a sudden I was like, oh, there it is. That's why I've been working so hard. As they say, Rome was not built in a day, neither was your real estate portfolio. But I still see there's so many people that even watch this channel that are just so much better than me. They have way better portfolios that make so much more money. And even me, I'm like, oh man, I wish I was there. But I'm like, Rob, like remember where we started. Remember where we started and be grateful for it. In some regard, I'm always jealous for people getting started on this journey, because like I remember what that was like. Like I learned so much, I changed so much. And I guess this gets into the very last point here. What I didn't know about Airbnb before I got into this, what I wish I would have known, because maybe it would have pushed me to start a little earlier, was that it would change me. It would change my life. It would change, damn it. I guess what I'm trying to say is that Airbnb would really shape me as an entrepreneur, and it would just really reveal who I am, allow me to find myself, I guess. And I just never expected that Airbnb would actually ever lead to me quitting my 9-to-5 job and career. And I always said that I'm unemployed, and someone's like, no, you're self-employed. You employ yourself. When they said that to me, I was like, man, you're so right. Like I am, and I should be proud of that. And I am. I'm like so proud of what Airbnb has allowed me to accomplish. I'm so proud that it's just gonna provide an amazing life for my kids, and I'm gonna be able to take care of my parents here pretty soon. And that to me is like, it's been worth it. Like all the hard times, all the gray hairs that are like all up in here, it is all worth it because I have built something special. Part of that is my portfolio. I think even past that is like, oh gosh, I hate how like TED Talky this is, but like my entrepreneurial spirit. I am a business owner. That's kind of a cool thing, but it's like I'm a business owner and I make mistakes and I get to learn from them, and I'm my own boss, and sometimes I'm a good one and sometimes I'm a horrible one, and I'm still figuring all this out. But I'll tell you what, I found myself. I'm so thankful for the life that I have and creatively be able to express myself both via curated experiences and on this channel. So that's it. That's the arc of the video. That's everything that I wish that I had learned. And if you're interested in learning more of my stories and my personal anecdotes and my strategies and my philosophies and everything that I believe when it comes to starting a short-term rental business, then consider enrolling in the Robuilt Host Camp, which is live. I want to tell you a little bit more about that. Host Camp is my 6-week program that's 100% dedicated to starting an Airbnb business. So it's a little different than Glam Camp. Glam Camp was all about starting a glamping business, but so many of y'all requested the Airbnb program because that's a little bit more your jam, and this is it. And I'm so excited because I've been working on this since October, and I've literally worked like hundreds and hundreds of hours putting this together for you. It's going to be open for enrollment from now through September 6th at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And there's a link down below if you're interested in learning a little bit more. Every single week, I'm going to be releasing new content that gets into a lot of these nitty-gritty, finer details of starting an Airbnb business. Oftentimes, excruciating details of starting an Airbnb business, but you'll be all the better for it, I promise. It's going to consist of 6 live sessions. 3 of them are going to be coaching calls with me, and I will say that the last time I did this, it actually ended up being more like 7 or 8 coaching calls. And then I'm going to also have 3 industry experts that are just masters at the art of Airbnb and their own business, and they're better than me. You know, I'm going to be bringing on some pretty expert speakers to help drop their knowledge firebombs on you and make you just the best host that you can be. I would say by far the best part of the lives is the live interaction. You actually get to join every week and bring the problems and the questions that you're struggling with, and you'll get the chance to ask that during these live sessions. I'm also going to have an exclusive Facebook group for the Host Camp members. I will say that this one really evolved into probably like one of my favorite things about my last program, because people just share insights, they work through their problems together, they partner up with each other, which is really just a beautiful thing to see. Like maybe you're an investor and you don't have time, this person doesn't have any money, but they have grit and sweat equity. They can find each other through this Facebook group and partner up, or maybe it's just 2 partners. The networking here has been clutch for so many people in the program. I'm also going to have a bunch of downloadable goodies and resources for you, like my automated messaging templates, a list of my favorite automation tools, my curated shopping list. I put that all together for you. That's part of the program. And so much more, damn it. It's going to be great, y'all. Seriously, I put in so much time and love and effort and passion into curating the perfect curriculum for the Rob Mob. And if it's anything like the Glam Camp program, then I already know that I'm going to help shape Airbnb entrepreneurs that are going to go on to be so much better than me in every way possible and create my own competition, but in a good way. And honestly, that's pretty cool. Plus, we'll get to connect a little bit through the program too. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more, there's a link in the description for you. All right, thanks for watching. This is the end of the Airbnb series, and I don't know what's coming next, but hopefully something good. All right, see ya.